by Whole Foods Market.
Ooh.
The NFL hoping to gift us a season this year, 256 games of football. Nick broke down his projected NFC standings yesterday. Today we have his AFC side of it. Nick, what do you got for us?
Well, I want to give Coach a moment. Grab, Coach, your laminated schedule grid I sent you so you can follow along closely. We can reveal the AFC standings now, so, Coach, you can kind of have a multi-screen setup right now. AFC standings there are a few things probably jump out at you there. It's kind of a cornucopia of predictions. I got the Chiefs going 14-2. Now, I know a lot of you guys thought I'd pick them to go 16-0. I'm a realist. I don't think they're going to go 16-0. I think they lose at Baltimore, and I think they lose at New Orleans. Lamar has never beaten Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. He's 19-1 against the rest of the NFL in the regular season. I think that ends this year. The Chiefs then will be overwhelming favorites in their next 10 games leading into the Week 15 game at New Orleans. So I predict really good things for the Kansas City Chiefs being the 1 seed. Also, if you saw those standings, I've got the Browns making the playoffs. Now, I had the Browns making the playoffs last year. I was wrong on that. My apologies, America. Can't be perfect. But I think the Browns have an opportunity to start their season off really well. I mentioned Lamar's 19-1 in the regular season against the whole NFL aside from Kansas City. That one is to Baker Mayfield. Browns have their toughest game of the year in Week 1 at Baltimore. If they can win that, home for Cincinnati, home for Washington, Week 5, home for the Colts, a team that Week 7, home for the at the Bengals, pardon me, a team that desperately needs a fast start, I think has an opportunity to get off to a really fast start. And the other big takeaway I assume some people are going to have is Miami in the playoffs. Let me explain Miami just for a moment here. Miami won 5 of their final 9 last year with a field goal against the Jets at the gun away from winning 6 of their final 9. Spent a ton of money on defense in the offseason, and they got a gift from the scheduling gods in the middle of their schedule. Look at Week 7 and 8. Week 7, the LA Chargers come all the way across the country to Miami for a 1 p.m. kickoff. Week 8, the LA Rams come all the way across the country to Miami for a 1 p.m. kickoff. Back-to-back weeks with the West Coast coming east for early kickoffs. That combined with the soft underbelly of the Jets in that division, I really like the Dolphins' chances to go 9-7 and sneak into the playoffs. I didn't even mention the Patriots, Coach, but I do have them winning the division. There's a little, a sampling of my AFC predictions. What are your thoughts, Coach?
Well, I'm okay with the Patriots winning the division. I think you have to put them there until someone proves that they can knock them off. 10-6 seemed a little bit light there. They haven't won only 10 games in I think about 10 years. The Bills at 8-8, I think you're wrong there. Very strong defensively. They've done some really good things offensively. To me, they're the biggest threat to the Patriots in terms of winning that division. The Dolphins could go either way. They overachieved last year. They've infused a lot of talent. How well they're able to make that fit and what type of significant contribution Tua makes and how quickly he can make that remains to be seen. In terms of the North, you have the Ravens losing 4 games. I'm not sure how you came to that. They've got the easiest schedule. But okay, I like the Browns making the playoffs. 11-5 seemed a little bit high to me. It's still, they've a ton of talent, ton of good things in the offseason, but how well are they going to be able to navigate those personalities? And that's always the issue. The Steelers at 8-8, you can't underestimate the Steelers. You can't underestimate the Steelers. Once Ben Roethlisberger's back, what they did last year in the situation they were in was impressive. So that could go either way. The Titans, not sure why you have them as high as you do. They've lost a significant amount of talent and leadership. And that division, as much as you want to kill the Texans have been in control of it for the most part over the last 4 or 5 years. And in the West, the Broncos at 3-13, I think you're dead wrong there. Vic Fangio's effect defensively usually comes into play a little bit slower than some other coordinators, but it's coming. They won 4 out of the last 5 games, and they've added some nice talent. And the games they lost last year at 7-9. They lost a bunch on the last play of the game. So I think they're going to push in that division a lot more than you have.
Wow. Well, so first of all, Nick, I think Coach has done an excellent job studying the laminated schedule that you gave him. I mean, that really paid off dividends for you. I had a specific question about the Dolphins before you talk about the Patriots. I want you to dig into the Patriots too. If you've got the Dolphins at 9-7, that feels into the playoffs. That's win now mode. So how do you think Tua fits into that plan if they're in win now mode / develop Tua?
Listen, I think Tua is, if he's healthy, I think he's as good as Fitzpatrick. And I think they showed you last year they didn't need excellent quarterback play to win more than they lost at the end of the year. So I think they can go slow with Tua. I don't think he has to start week 1. But by the time you have that opportunity in your schedule, week 6 through 10 leading into the bye to really rack up some wins, I think we could see Tua on the field. Now, you mentioned the Patriots and how they get to 10 wins. I think this is a really important if we could show the Patriots schedule, because I do not have them, Wilds, starting off great. I have them actually starting off 4-6 because I think those first 10 games are very tough. But that final 6, when the Patriots tend to be peaking, you're home for Arizona. Arizona goes west to east. Then a very interesting setup where you go to the West Coast to face the Chargers. Then on Thursday night, you face the Rams in the same city. The Rams the previous week are actually on the road. So they will be traveling for their Thursday night home game, and the Patriots won't be. You're then in Miami and then home games against the Bills and the Jets. I think the Patriots go 6-0 at the end of the year, and that's how they end up winning the division away from Miami and from Buffalo Wilds.
Okay, then I feel okay about it. And then in playoffs, it would be the Belichick Bowl. You've got Patriots-Browns in Foxborough. I think that would just be a tremendous game for the entire league.
Well, Coach, weren't you involved in, first of all, it'd be great. I'd be super excited, and we'd see Baker in the playoffs. Weren't you involved in a Patriots-Browns playoff game on the other side of the equation? Like, people think of you with the Patriots and a head coach with the Browns, but weren't you in Cleveland for a Patriot-bound playoff game? Feels like the last time the Browns made the playoffs?
Yeah, it was a little while ago. It was when Belichick was the head coach, and we played Parcells-led Patriots, and Cleveland won. It was in Cleveland. But the Wilds, if the Patriots start 4-6 with Stidham, you're going to have some real emotional issues. I mean, I can't see you suffering through a 4-6 start to the season. We might have to get you some counseling at that point.
Paul, hit the Cam Newton music. You know what I want. I don't know what I'm rooting for. Don't shake me off my Stidham. I am locked in. Stidham cement. I am in, and I'm supporting Stidham. The 4-6 start would throw me a little bit, though. Oh, that's Cam's music. I'm back.
I don't even know which quarterback's music that is at this point. Stay focused.
Sometimes it's
Yacht Rock. Stay focused, Wilds. Nick, I gotta ask you a little bit one more time to go over why you think the Browns are going to be better this year. What changed last year? I had one guy that came onto our show all last year that agreed with me that maybe we should wait and see how the Browns unfold before we write them into the playoffs, and that was Eric Mangini, who now also thinks the Browns could make the playoffs. They have a similar roster. Yeah, they have another year under their belt, but it doesn't feel like they have any more unity. They've had no offseason to really get together and train and practice. Why do you have them making the playoffs?
Yeah, well, I don't think unity was their issue. I think their issue was terrible coaching and terrible quarterback play, and I believe they'll be better at head coach by default. And I don't think Baker is an awful quarterback. He played like an awful quarterback last year. There's no way around it. So even if he's not a future MVP, if he just plays like the 14th best quarterback in football, that is a markedly better team. Plus, they did address the offensive line this offseason, which was their biggest point of weakness as far as roster construction. And they added Austin Hooper, which you do wonder, is there enough footballs to go around? But it's another additional weapon. And furthermore, Jenna, look at those final 3 games of the year. To me, they have as good of an end of the season as you can have. not even mentioning the Jags in week 12, but home for the Giants, then at the Jets, at the Giants, at the Jets, then home for Pittsburgh. I think if they are sitting there at 8-5, they have a great chance of running the table at the end of the year. I also have concerns. Mike Tomlin's never gone below 500. I don't think he will. But the Steelers, starting in week 12, every single game they play is in cold weather. And I understand Big Ben maybe has some, built-in insulation. But for a 38, 39-year-old man playing quarterback, I do question whether or not that's going to work out well for the Steelers coach, even though I love Tomlin and I love their defense.
Yeah, look, I think the Browns have a tremendous amount of talent, and I really like Kevin Stefanski. But, Jenna, I'm not 100% saying that this is a lock. They are going to have to reel in those personalities, and they're going to have to make those personalities work together a lot better than the last administration did.
All right, Nick, you had a side bet going with Wilds. I think what was it, a nicotine patch? It was the Chiefs-Patriots. I'll do a third or second other side bet with you, whether the Browns I'll bet you a nicotine patch that the Browns do not make the playoffs. I hope I explained that right.
If they do, you have to wear a nicotine patch for a week?
Well, obviously I can't do that, but I'll have a third cup of coffee.